5th week of yoga, and I thought this week we're going to do it. So doing a morning routine, an AM yoga, which we're going to focus on stretching and increasing our endurance. And then I'm going to do a PM or evening theme, which is going to help us learn to let go and relax. So first we're just going to do the pranayama and the breath work, and we're just going to take a deep breath in, bringing our arms up, pushing the belly button in towards the spine. If it feels good for the shoulders, to drop the shoulders down the back. And we're going to exhale over to one side, keeping those arms in line with the head. Feeling that stretch on the side of the body through the rib cage. Then taking another deep breath in. Exhaling, lifting all the way back up. And again, bringing those shoulders down, taking a deep breath in. Exhaling over to the other side. Allow yourself to hold this pose. Keeping the neck in line with the spine and feeling the sides of the rib cage opening up into those intercostal muscles of the ribs and coming all the way back up. We're going to bring the hands behind, fingertips pointing forward, and we're going to roll the shoulders back and take a deep breath in, lifting the heart center up, chin up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, grabbing onto your knees, rolling your tailbone back, pulling the belly button in towards the spine, and coming all the way back up. So we're going to just warm up through the neck and shoulders first, starting into table pose. We're going to lift up the right arm and reach up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to thread the needle, bringing that right arm all the way through, shoulder down, ear down, left arm up, either pointing up towards the ceiling or draping down towards the back. And you're going to take from here many deep breaths, pulling that shoulder back, inhaling and exhaling, taking the left leg if you wish and extending it out and making sure both pelvic bones are squared to the earth. Breathing in, allowing that stretch into the neck, into the shoulders, and into the upper back. If you wish to take it into a balanced pose, you can try to lift the leg up, still keeping those pelvic bones squared to the earth. And breathe, and bring the knee down towards the earth. Left hand comes up, reaching all the way up. Circling the shoulders to loosen up those shoulders again. Inhaling the tailbone up, dropping the belly down, opening up the chest. And then exhaling, tucking the tailbone. Pulling the belly button up towards the spine, chin towards the chest. And coming back into a neutral spine. Left arm reaching way up towards the ceiling. Threading it through, dropping the ear down, pulling the shoulder away from the ear, right arm reaching up to the lower back, right leg extends if you wish, or you can keep those knees down, twisting the head looking up if you wish, or keeping the ear down, working with the breath. If you wish to take it into a balanced pose, you're lifting up that right leg, both pelvic bones facing down, and reaching this hand down, pushing yourself all the way up, back into table, up into cow pose. Inhale, exhaling, pulling through the cat, coming back into a neutral spine. And from here, exhaling those legs all the way back into downward dog, and pedaling those heels one at a time to stretch into the back of the legs, pulling the shoulders back, being mindful that you're warming up and your backs of the legs might feel tight. So we're bending the knees and working in, slowly warming up those
hamstrings. If you can extend the heel all the way down, that's fine. You can keep the heels up and just paddle back and forth. We're going to inhale forward into plank, pulling the shoulders back, forehead parallel. You can always drop the knees if you wish. So you could stay here, pulling that tailbone back, pull the belly button in, and going down into a push-up pose, and pushing yourself all the way back up, pressing down on the index finger and thumb. Or you can take it into a full plank, very slowly and mindfully, elbows close to the side, pushing down and pushing all the way back up, pulling through the core. And a second one as you go down and pushing all the way back up. And one more. Exhaling, pushing up, going back into your downward dog. Working those heels down again. So we're warming up the whole body. So when we're doing planks, planks are great in over body strengthening. From here, we're going to take either walk your feet up towards your hands, or try to just, as you bend your knees, pulling the tailbone in, belly button in towards your spine, doing 1 hop, 2 hop, 3 hop, down into Uttanasana, grabbing onto your elbows, and warming up the spine as you roll up the spine. Bringing the hands together into Ujjayi Mudra. We're going to inhale our arms up, a gentle arch back, pushing the pelvis forward, heart center reaching up, swan dive coming all the way down, touching the earth or letting the hands just drape. You can soften the knees. We're going to do 3 hops back. So we're going to bend the knees, tailbone down. 1, 2, 3, pushing back into downward dog. Taking a deep breath in. 3 hops forward. 1, so I'm on the ball of the feet. 2, 3, down into Uttanasana, rolling up the spine. Inhaling all the way up. Gentle arch back. Swan dive all the way down. Touching the earth. Knees can be bent. We'll pull the belly button in. 3 hops back. 1, 2, 3 into downward dog. So we can speed this up, or you can stay with the 3 hops or just walking up. So we're going to take a deep breath in, exhaling, softening the knees, pulling through the core, hopping up, Uttanasana, hanging down, rolling up. So when I'm really squeezing into that hop, pulling up through the pelvic floor, bending the knee, trying to make myself feel like I'm floating. So when I hop back, again, downward dog. Opening up, knees bent, hop forward. Tailbone down, rolling up the spine. Reaching ourselves up. Hands come down into Ujjayi Mudra. Legs together, inhaling up, coming down into chair. Pulling those shoulders forward, and we're going to bring the shoulders back and behind. Pulling those shoulders back, even if it's a fist. And tiny lifts. Neck stays in line with the spine, squeezing your inner thighs. Lifting up. Bringing the weight to the back of the heels. And we're going to bring the arms all the way forward and up. Lifting all the way up. Swan dive down. Rolling up the spine. Hands come down into Ujjayi Mudra. Sitting back into a chair pose, reaching the arms up parallel to the ears. We're going to bring the arms behind as they reach, making fists, neck in line with the spine, tiny lifts of the back of the arms, pulling the tailbone back, squeezing the inner thighs, tiny lifts with the arms, neck in line, working lift into Utkatasana chair pose, swinging the arms forward, lifting up, gentle arch back, swan dive down. From here, you could do your 3 hops or 1 hop all the way back into downward dog. Work those heels, back and forth, back and forth. Coming forward and down into plank or with the knees dropped. Coming down into a push-up pose, sliding forward and up into upward dog. So upward dog, your pelvis is lifting up. You can also take it into a cobra or a sphinx or a full upward dog. It's lifting up onto the tops of the feet. Shoulders are back. Exhaling back into downward dog. Taking a deep breath in. Look between your hands, 3 hops or 1 big hop. Lifting up, dropping the head down, rolling up your spine. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling, coming down, bringing the legs together. Inhaling up. Exhaling down into chair pose. Hands come to your heart center. We're going to pull back the right hip, coming all the way into a revolved chair pose. So you're sitting yourself back, pressing the elbow against the thigh, lifting up. From here, you can even take it further with open arms, depending on what feels good with the shoulders. From here, take a deep breath in, into a revolved Utkatasana chair pose. Coming back to center, we're going to pull back the other side, lifting. So again, you're bringing your hands together, pressing yourself up, opening the arms if you wish. Coming back down, setting yourself forward, inhaling up, exhaling down, looking up halfway, exhaling down. You can walk your feet back, jump back into downward dog, inhale forward into plank, drop your knees if you wish to, going down into push-up pose, sliding forward and up into upward dog. Again, legs can drop, be into your cobra or sphinx, and lifting yourself up, pulling yourself back into downward dog, right leg up into 3-legged dog, knee into the chest, inhale up, knee into the chest as you exhale, squeeze. One more time, inhale, knee into the chest. You're going to step it forward, back foot, plant, heel, toe, looking at the alignment of that heel to the arch of that back foot as you come all the way up into Virabhadrasana 2. Shoulders in line. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale into side angle stretch. Reaching yourself up. Lengthening that front leg. Reverse triangle. Coming back up. Shifting yourself over and down into Trikonasana. Bringing the hand to the shin. Or if you can, to the side of the leg. Opening up the chest. Let's just look down at the toes and feel that you're opening and pulling back through the upper part of that left hip. And then circling that arm all the way up, bending the knee. We're going to take that right hand as we cartwheel down, coming into a low lunge, coming back into plank, into a push-up pose, sliding forward and up, back into plank, back into downward dog. Breathe. Remember, we're building energy and endurance. Left leg up into 3-legged dog. Exhaling the knee into the chest. Nose towards the knee. Inhale, lengthen. Pelvis is always square to the earth. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bringing it all the way through, planting the foot. The back foot, you're looking at that 90-degree. So that heel intersects the midline of that back foot. Keeping that front knee over that ankle. Virabhadrasana. 2. Reverse warrior, palms up. Again, nice stretch into the rib cage, side body. Inhaling up, side ankle stretch, reverse stretch. Looking up underneath the armpit. Inhaling, lifting all the way up. And reach. Breathe. Lengthening the front leg. Pelvis is squared. Reverse Trikonasana. Triangle. And coming back. Coming over into triangle again. Stacking the side of the body to that front leg. So you could be all the way up here. You want to tuck that tailbone. You want to make sure this torso is in line with this front leg. And reaching yourself further down without distorting that torso. And coming all the way back up. Knee bent. Left arm comes down and around into your low lunge. Into plank. We're going to drop the knees. We're going to lower ourselves down. Bringing the hands onto the side of the body. We're going to lift up the head and shoulders. And we're just going to pull the shoulder blades back, neck line in line with the spine. We're going to lift up the legs, reaching forward, exhaling, pulling back. Reaching forward, exhaling, pulling back. Reaching forward, exhaling, pulling back. And bring yourself down, pushing yourself up. Coming back into child's pose. Allow the shoulders to relax. Coming all the way up. And swinging ourselves around. So I'm going to take it down to, you can continue the rest of the sequence for your whole morning practice, or you can start from here and work as this next of the sequence for your evening practice, because we're going to start working on holding and breathing, doing more supine poses, more forward bends, more relaxation, and calming the body down. So from here, we're going to come back onto our hands and knees. So you're going to notice that cat and cow can be used all the time. It's a great sequence to just bring fluid into the spinal cord. So just to release tension that we may have carried out throughout the day, and just allowing yourself to squeeze through those vertebrae and working through all those organs. You're inhaling up, expanding the chest, lifting up, exhaling, squeezing, coming down, allowing all that we no longer want to hold on to release and come back to center. We're going to work more onto the hips. We're going to come down onto our forearms, and we're going to move the knees back. And we're going to unite the legs so they become one. Ankles and heels are together. We're going to allow ourselves to take the hips and bring them over to one side and just let that drop. So you're going to feel this. Your shoulders are squared forward. And you're going to feel this opening into that lateral side of the body. And just breathe. So if you can't get your hips to touch the earth, you're going to hold them up. You're going to bring more energy squeezing in between the inner thighs. And you're going to squeeze as you squeeze through the core to come over to the other side and allow those hips to drop. And breathe into that side of the body. And breathe. So we're releasing tension through the hips and the lower back. And coming all the way up. Taking the hands on either side of the shoulders, and of our chest. And notice that the knees are further back. We're going into Ananada Asana, so the melting heart pose. This pose, again, if it's hard to flex the spine to bring the chest to the earth, you can always use a pillow. So I'll show you definitely with the pillow first. So the back is you're aligned, your pelvis is tilted slightly forward. You act like your torso is coming forward, like you're sliding forward, like into a cobra, and you're going to place the heart down onto the pillow, bringing the shoulders back, trying to bring one hand to the lower back, your other hand to the lower back, chin down towards the pillow, feeling that stretch, okay? If you can take it further, you can take into a reverse Ajnali Mudra with your hands, or reverse prayer. Reverse Ajnali Mudra, which would be lifting up, and then release. And then I'll show you what it looks like without the pillow. You're coming down like into your push-up pose, bringing the chest, the tailbone's up. You look like a little inchworm. Chin is what is pivoted. So there's like 8 points of the body touching the earth. You're bringing the hands around again, trying to bring the wrist or elbows. You can bring it into reverse prayer, or up into reverse Ajnali. Up and breathe. Working through those shoulders back, shoulder blades together, coming through. You're going to slide yourself through into a little cobra. So we're doing a lot of this flexion on the back to create all that movement that we did throughout the day that would lead us into sitting, forward bends, forward type movements, which most of our postures throughout the day, leaning over computers, cooking, working, running, walking, we do. Sometimes we're always leaning more forward, so these are nice postures to open up the back. Then we're going to counter stretch and round the back into just a restorative pose, and feeling ourselves into a restorative pose where we're just taking deep breaths and allowing the shoulders just to wrap and allowing the spine to feel this release, and breathe. And we're going to lift ourselves up, and we're going to swing. So we're going to bring our legs through. We're going to bring the soles of the feet down. We're going to take our hands behind the thigh, and we're going to pull ourselves back like we're trying to get this waistband closer to the earth. So the farther back you go, the more intensity it brings on the core. You don't want to be bringing it up to the neck. So if it feels okay, you can sit up here. If you need to, you could bring a pillow behind your back to help support. If that's needed to, a towel, whatever you need, because we're working on trying to build up the core by pushing ourselves back. Hands are in line with the legs, or again, for support, you can bring your hands underneath your thighs. We're just going to bring up one leg at a time, and as we inhale, we're going to lengthen. So I'm pulling my torso back slightly, my leg, my chin, the chin is pointing down towards the heart center, and as I exhale, I'm going to squeeze. So I'm going to squeeze the belly button in and pull that knee in. And again, inhale, exhale. So if this is a struggle, again, you can have your hands behind your thighs to help, or you don't have to go that far down. You can just work in this movement. You still will feel that contraction in the abdominal muscles. Let's try the other side. You're going to inhale and exhale. So we're just working on toning into the core, but also releasing any toxin and helping with the digestive process before we go to sleep. Again, you wouldn't be doing a lot of abdominal work after a full meal. You'd be doing this a couple hours after meal and just allowing yourself to feel this movement. And again, you can do one leg at a time, or you can try to lift up both legs. Inhale, so you're pulling in. Exhale, pulling in. Again, the legs. Inhale, so we would call this canoe. Exhale, up into a half boat. Inhale, exhale. We're going to take the legs down, rolling down the spine. We're going to lift the knees up. You're going to take your left ankle above the right as you form into this peg pose. And you're going to bring the hand through the legs and pull the knee in to work with the piriformis. Lifting up that leg if it feels good for this hamstring, flexing the foot. And just a gentle tug. Again, the knee can be bent, arms are out. You're going to take this whole position, and as you exhale, I'm going to bring my legs all the way over to the right. And you're going to try to see how far you can bring those legs over without taking the shoulder off the earth. Working into this torso twist. So it's a reclining twist. Keeping those shoulders. It can come up deeper by pulling the knees up closer to the chest. Just see if you can get up higher into the spine. A couple of breaths, allowing that breath. And then you're going to come all the way back. As I come back, I'm still in that square position. I'm going to lift the leg back up, stretch, still stretching through the piriformis. Bring the legs down, right ankle above left knee, pulling the knee in, right hand through, a gentle pull. Flex the foot. Lengthen the leg if you wish. Pressing against that hip to open up. Couple of breaths, feeling into this stretch. So the longer you breathe and hold, the more you're going to work into these muscles. Knee is bent, arms out into gold pose. Both feet are flexed. You're to twist. You're keeping the upper body against the earth as you twist. Looking over towards the opposite. You can pull the knees up, getting deeper into the twist. Inhale and exhale. And coming all the way back as you squeeze. Open the legs. Reaching the knees as you separate them. Bringing the legs up in Vritti Karni. So Vritti Karni means legs up the wall. We're having the legs up on an invisible wall. Trying to keep those legs straight. Sometimes the hamstrings are tight, so we're not keeping them all straight. That's fine. Just so that you feel this slight inversion with the legs. This helps drain the legs, picks up into the parasympathetic nervous system to calm us down. You can add a little rock up of the tailbone. Hands can come underneath to even push up a little more, just to feel into those lower abs and to release that lower back. If you're able to, you can bring the knees all the way up and just flip the legs over. So this would be what we would call hands on the lower back, just what the yin pose of the snail. So we're not up on our shoulders. The shoulders are nice and flat. We're just allowing this slight inversion because the hips are higher than the heart and just draining into that lower back and legs. You might feel sometimes pull here. You might want to need the knees slightly bent. However it feels good for you into this position. Keeping the hands on the lower back. More advanced is keeping the hands down as they clasp. Again, the shoulders are still flat, so we're not into a full cloud pose. And we're going to slowly roll down using your core muscles. You can use your hands on your lower back as you slowly bring yourself down. Arms out into a T. You're going to point your toes and you're going to do tiny little circles. Like you're thinking on the tip of those toes, you're circling up onto the ceiling, and you're going to circle the other way as you squeeze the belly button in towards the spine. So we're helping all that fluid that maybe has built up as we're standing or sitting all day into the legs and allowing it to drain, helping with the lymphatic system. From here, we're going to flex. You're going to feel this in the back of the calves and the ankles and the Achilles, and then you're going to point. Flex and point. So, if needed to, you can do all these stretches up against the wall, or just keeping it into the invisible wall. You're going to bring the knees into the chest. You're going to take your hands on the knees and do big circles to massage that lower back. So you're massaging the kidneys and the adrenal gland, calming down, and massaging the other way. You're going to lift from here. Knees are parallel. You're going to drop both knees down over towards the right. The legs are stacked. You're going to take, so you can stay here. So this is a spinal torso twist again. You're going to notice a lot of twisting to release, to calm. We can take it into a yin pose that's called the cat pole, which you can take the bottom leg and fling it back, and taking the right hand to grab onto, the left hand to grab onto the right leg, and you're pulling. So you're going to feel this in the front quad. This is one stretch. Be mindful on the shoulders and the lower back. You can stack the knees again. You can take the upper leg, which would be the left leg, and I'm going to swing that back, and I'm going to wiggle that foot up, grabbing onto my hand, and feeling into this stretch. You're going to feel into the front of this quad and hip flexor. And you feel that little arch in the back. And you're going to bring those legs, so you bring that left leg on top of the right. You're going to squeeze the legs together as you come back up. Adjust the spine, and you're going to drop the legs over to the other side. Again, so here we are in just a torso twist. We're going to take the left leg and you're going to slide it under. The right hand's going to grab as you reach. Now some people, for an advance, they can take the leg out as straight and grab both. But you're feeling what feels comfortable. This is a big stretch in the back of the hamstring. You might just want to keep it bent. And breathe, making sure both shoulders are on the earth. You're going to stack so the knees come together. Here you are in a torso twist. You're going to take the upper leg, swing it back, grabbing it, wiggling the foot up like a cat, like it's a cat tail, and feeling that into the quad, and breathe. These are deep stretches into the iliacus muscle of the hip flexors and into the front quad, and breathe. And you're going to bring those legs all the way back up and bring yourself back to center, hands on the knees, and again, massage that back and circle the other way. Rocking yourself up. Open your legs up into a wide V. So modification here is bending one leg. Just keeping the pelvis forward. You're going to take the right arm, bringing it in line with that right leg. As you lean over, again, you don't have to go low. You can lift up, whatever it feels comfortable, bringing the torso over and taking the opposite arm and reaching up. And opening, so you want both shoulders open as you reach. And look underneath that armpit. And again, if you're doing this with a full wide leg, you'll be over trying to keep that opposite hip down and reaching up. And again, going to the other side. So the right leg goes in, you're reaching towards that left. You're going as far as it feels comfortable. Again, up here. You're trying to keep the torso focused to center and reach. And again, this right leg can be out and reaching all the way back up. Bringing the legs together. Forward bend into Paschimottanasana. So you're going to pull back the sit bones to open up space. You're going to reach through the belly, come forward, neck in line with the spine. Arms are perpendicular to the head, parallel to the head. And as every breath, you're going to inhale forward, exhale down. Knees can be bent. Inhale forward, exhale down. Inhale forward, exhale down, until you reach to your point that is the deepest of that stretch, of keeping this all in line. And then when you reach that point, you pulling the belly button in, and I just want you to fold over as if we release into what we call sort of a caterpillar pose of unrolling into yin yoga. And then breathe and rolling yourself up. And circle those shoulders back, finding the soles of the feet. And take your hands and work your way down to the lower back. Arms out into a T, pressing onto the edge of the feet. And you're going to lift that pelvis up. It's a nice stretch into opening up into the hip flexors, squeezing in through the glutes. And breathe. Making sure those breaths are long. And inhale, long exhale. And slowly rolling down. Taking and lengthening the left leg as the right knee comes to the chest. Into a Pada Mukhanasana, the wind release pose, lengthening that lower back. If you wish to do another hamstring stretch, bringing that leg out, foot is flexed. Opening up into the inner thigh, taking that leg out a couple of inches to the right. Taking it back to center. Hold and pull. And then maybe taking it over a couple of inches to the left so you feel all of a sudden at the side of the IT band getting a nice little stretch. Foot is flexed. Back to center. Knee into the chest. One more time. Squeezing as close as it can. Bring the left leg in. Right leg elongates. Breathe. Pulling those shoulders down away from the ears. Lengthening that leg. Taking that leg out to the left. Coming back to center. Across the body. Back to center. Knee into the chest. Bringing both knees into the chest. Both feet up towards the ceiling. Holding onto the ankles, the arches of the feet as you pull the elbow or the knees down towards the armpits. You can even grab around the big toe. Tailbone is down and you're just rocking from side to side. Allowing that massage for the whole back. And bring those legs together, down, bind. And sliding one leg open and then the other. Hands come down. Index finger and thumb into the Jana Mudra of knowledge, of wisdom, of unity. Rocking the head from side to side. Taking a deep breath in. Exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. So at this point, you can pause. Stay here for a little bit. Be focused on the breath. Allow yourself to just inhale into the sound of I. Exhale to the sound of am. So we put that together, I am, and just thinking about with the breath. So the inhalation is I, the exhalation is am. And that would be your focus to calm and unite yourself with the breath. If you wish to end the session, you're going to roll over to the right side, gently to bring yourself up into simple Sukhasana. Inhaling the arms up, exhaling the hands down to the heart, and thinking of the thoughts of being grateful. So we list of what, maybe 3 things today that we're grateful for. That the sun was out, that we had food, that we had a chance to move our body in a positive way, that we felt a connection of happiness, or connection of love with being with the people that we're surrounded with at this moment. And enjoy. Namaste.